Hey fam, how's it going? I'm just out here on a walk with my dogs. You can see them in the background there, Teddy and Maisie. It's our family dogs. They've obviously found some delicious aroma. So roll in and cover their bodies in. Hope there's nothing too stinky. Hey Teddy! You know what? I think in this situation, ignorance is bliss. I don't know what they're rolling in, and hopefully I won't smell it. But they do look a bit dirty, so might be a bit unlucky there. Anyway, maybe I should have kept these guys on a lead for this, so I didn't have to worry about them while filming this. There you go, maybe I'll learn that for next time. Actually, I might just pause this and get them on the lead. Alright, well that teaches me. It's always funny with dogs because I always think when I take him down to the park, I can do something else because, I'm not really doing anything. The dogs are just roaming around the park, minding their own business. I'm minding my own business, but it's always surprising how much attention and effort it does require to just make sure they're not getting up to any mischief and everything like that. Even though it feels like super low effort, I've noticed if ever I try to multitask, it tends to kind of go wrong. Even like if I want to do some push-ups, pull-ups. There's a nice tree over there. Where is it? I'm trying to find it in the camera. Am I blind? Where is this thing? Oh, it's just hard for me to see because it's like, I think it's like that tree there. There's a branch somewhere around there. Yeah. That I like to do pull-ups on sometimes, or I used to do anyway. Yeah. But all that to say, I've got these guys safely under control now, so we can get into some talking about something. And I was just thinking, what will I talk about today? And there's a few things I could do, a few things I could talk about. We've trained her not to kiss people's lips, so even if I sort of do kissy to her, she will lick your nose though, but she'll very rarely lick your lips. Anyway, besides the point, I was thinking about anger actually. And I don't know if I got this from somewhere or if I kind of came to it as a realization on my own. I think probably a bit of both. But with anger, I came up with this kind of mantra or little saying for myself that I sometimes comes to mind, which is anger is my protector. Anger is my protector. Which is a bit of a paradigm shift for me because typically I think I have a lot of, shame around anger. I think that's very common to have shame around anger because it's quite common for parents to discourage you from being angry, which is kind of normal as well. But if there's some kind of good reason for you to be angry and it's constantly being shown to you that it's not an effective strategy being angry to get your way in the world, then that anger, which maybe has a good reason to be there, like a just reason to be there, actually kind of goes underground, I guess, and you can kind of reject it, and then it can come out in different ways. You might not. I think that's where a lot of stonewalling comes from. If you've heard that term, that's just where you just are very passive aggressive towards people. You're not going to be outwardly angry, because some part of you is like, no, it's wrong to be like angry, but you also can't bring yourself to be happy around the person. And there's also, I think, a deep sense of injustice that goes along with that. So the anger is there. Yeah, it's a whole complicated thing. I think as soon as you get talking about emotions, you can talk about it for hours and make it, go in as much depth as you like. But there's another thing that I like about this paradigm shift of anger is my protector, which is, there is some like culture of, I feel like probably especially like in sitcoms, and probably particularly like girls, like drama shows that are more so pitched towards women, although I don't want to like stereotype or anything, where there's this strong kind of culture of your emotions are always right. And there is actually like some real truth to that. Because your emotions always are communicating valid information to you. That's my perspective at this present moment anyway. And I've had a discussion like this with my brother before as well, where we were discussing kind of how anger, it doesn't necessarily like, it can feel like it proves that the other person is guilty. It feels like, I'm so angry at this person, therefore this person must be a bad person. And we were discussing how that's not always totally right. And the thing is, though, that I think there is something that it does communicate, which is more often correct than that. It's probably obvious I'm getting a bit confused within myself as I'm talking about this. So many thoughts running through my mind. So I don't want to portray anything that I'm saying as the gospel truth. Just to clarify that. But what does get communicated, very oftentimes at least, is you're in danger, and we need this emotion here to motivate you to take action that's going to protect you from that danger. So for me, looking at my situations in life and making sense of that anger, that kind of mantra of my anger is my protector, it seems like it helps me to develop a more healthy relationship with the emotion of anger. It allows me to say, hey, this is indicating that I need to be protected from something here, and that's a way for me to love myself right now. Is there's like alert lights coming up in the form of anger, and I need to respect that something about maybe my safety is being threatened. And this does get quite interesting. This is all ad lib, but this is like a bit more, this feels even a bit more experimental of a thought than what I've been saying up until now. And this, I want to link this to achieving my potential. And I'm a bit nervous as this is going to sound a bit arrogant and conceited, and I think that's how I feel about it a lot of the times, and maybe that's something that I use to invalidate this. So I'm just speaking my mind out loud right now. But there can be anger around things that I perceive to be undermining my potential. And I'm angry that my potential is being undermined by these things. And I'm angry even though I'm letting my potential be undermined by these things. And I think I would probably, I often gaslight myself about this, right? You think you have potential that's being like impeded by this situation. Get over yourself, just just follow the paths that everyone else is telling you to follow and all of this, and listen to everyone else's advice. Don't trust your intuition. You're probably stupid with your intuition and stuff. Just go the tried and trusted and true ways, and respect your elders and take their advice. But I feel some confidence right now that this is what my anger is communicating to me. That my potential is being undermined by the situations that I'm allowing, the dynamics that I'm allowing to persist in my life. I don't know if this resonates with you. And I guess the definition of this would be codependence, right? Maintaining a pattern of behavior that doesn't ultimately serve the greatest benefit and good of the world. And this is where it gets quite interesting. It gets quite interesting. Because one of the things that makes us most happy and most fulfilled as humans is to give to the world. And that's a lot of what the whole potential thing is. And the reason that the whole potential thing is because I was initially talking about safety, right? But now potential is higher up on, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And the thing is that when I tap into that and what that means to me, what I connect with emotionally is not so much potential as giving to the world, making the world meaningfully a better place. That's what I connect to within that, and that's what really hurts. And there's this really interesting kind of dichotomy at play here, where, how do I get into this? This is a little bit hard to put the finger on and get it out of the mouth into a clear articulation. I want to talk about positive and negative thinking almost, and positive and negative action. the upward spiral and the downward spiral. And there's this funny paradox of optimism and pessimism in both cases, which is just so... I'm still wrapping my head around it, and I still question it. And what it is that when you take positive steps and think positively, everything is more positive and optimistic, the way you see things. And when you don't take those steps, everything becomes more pessimistic. And in a lot of ways, I'm still stuck in some pessimistic mindsets. And this is the one I'm trying to get to, I guess. This belief that if I better myself, get better, become a more potent contributor to the well-being of the world, all of that will probably just be selfish. And a word that my other brother used once comes to mind. Big noting. That I'd be basically big noting myself, and that it would all be very self-gratifying and not actually moral and good. And this is a belief that I'm growing away from. It's kind of the tall poppy syndrome, which Australia, is it's a real difficulty that we have in our culture, I'd say, as Australians. Tall poppy syndrome. So I kind of want to invite myself in this moment, and you who's on this conversational journey with me, which, by the way, if you want to engage with me in the comments, I'd love to hear what you have to say. I want to kind of invite myself more and more, and in this moment, to imagine just what if, suspension of disbelief, right? What if we were to take an optimistic perspective on the world? What if everything was built in kind of a good way? What if, dare I say, if we took positive steps in a positive direction, that would actually be a positive thing. And we give ourselves the grace that whatever we're doing, we are doing the best that we can. Even if there is self-interest within that. And I kind of want to come back to the anger thing, because there's something I wanted to include in that whole spiel that didn't come out. Was practically, I'm sort of thinking, two things. More thoughts keep coming to mind. So a genuine part of what that anger is love for not only myself, but for the world. And it's really difficult for me to see that and acknowledge that, because I've been taught to see anger as basically wrong. And that's mostly behaviorally how I've been taught to perceive it. Because that is the main arena of learning. It's behavioral, with words being one offshoot of behavior. And that's where, that expression of actions speak louder than words rings just so true, doesn't it? We are educated by actions more than we're educated by words. So, if I allowed myself to see anger as a really noble form of love, because at the heart of it, I wonder if that's really what it is. An equally noble form of love. Love for oneself, and ultimately love for all humanity and all existence. And what if it's not only my protector, but my ally, And what if what I need to do to break through to the next level of being able to express myself and live a more fulfilled life, I'm gonna need to break out of some patterns that I've had for a very long time. And it's gonna take anger. Anger, which is trying to protect me and tell me, no, I won't accept that anymore in my life. No. Because there are greater things that are important to me. And that sounds very selfish. And it is selfish. But what if true selfishness, and I'm riffing off Alan Watts here right now, just so you know. What if true selfishness is something along the lines of, no, I'm not gonna stand for the world being in suffering. What if that's true selfishness? No, that's not what I want. No, I'm not gonna, as much as is possible for me, every step of the way, I'm not gonna be a part of that. Because that's not what I want. And a big part of the doubts that come in are, what if I'm not capable of this, of making a positive difference in the world? I should just play it safe, And to that, what I want to say is, it would be better to play it dangerous, with the sliver of a hope of that selfish outcome, making progress even on that selfish outcome. Then to live and die knowing that you never tried. So there you go. If you've made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate the time that we've shared together. I'd love to hear from you. What are you thinking about? What's resonating with you? What wisdom do you have to share? And I want to say as well, if you could do me a favor and just take a minute, take 5 seconds, take whatever amount of time after this video, even now, just pause and reflect. How can you look after yourself today? How can you make today even 1% better, 5% better? But just how can you look after yourself, really? You know, if we put in that effort on the daily, you know, that shit compounds. And who knows what kind of lives we can build, and who knows what kind of world we can build. Hey, it's fun daring to dream about that. What if, you know? What are we capable of in this world? So thanks for being here. Look after yourself. I'll do the same on my end. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.